next 2 minutes. But she is amazing, amazing, amazing with animals. In fact, she's the one who brought love and light for animals in my life. So she's the source of me having a pet at home who's more like a daughter. And I don't, even in the morning today, I was looking at my dog and saying, I must have done something right in my life. From a place where I had to look at the dog and run a mile, to looking at the dog and feeling love, it's a transition. And Aarti Desai is definitely part of that journey. It's taken me more than 50 years to break my saga of being scared of animals. So if you really want to get something in your life, keep working on your fears. You never know what's going to come up. So Aarti, I'm just going to start with the slides right now, and then I bring you back. Thank you so much. Okay, so I just wanted to show everybody what Aarti looks like. Okay. So today we're going to look at pets at home, Bach flower remedies for our pet. And I'm really happy that my neighbor Preeti has joined us along with everybody else. It's a pleasure to have you on board. Thank you so much. For me, this has been a journey, as I said, and Aarti's been part of this journey. My education with pets has been very limited other than the one with my own pet. And there are many ways I think I treat her more like a human being than like an animal, because I don't know any other way to treat. She's my little baby, and I just am in love with her. We are on this beautiful platform of Get Set Up. And the Get Set Up is a platform which is for lifelong learning for older adults. And here we all connect together, support each other, love each other, socialize with each other, have musty with each other, and do things with each other. And isn't that splendid? You have a group which is like a family. And look at the name, Get Set Up. It's almost like saying, don't sit down, move, and things will be okay for you. There's so many things that we do together. We have a cookbook together, we do marathon together, we paint together, we sing together, so many dance classes where we're dancing together. It just means that we are holding each other and learning from each other constantly and consistently. And I'm really, really grateful for this platform. I am Dr. Anu Mehta, and I have Agam today as my TA, who is going to be supporting me throughout. So I really acknowledge him. And I have Aarti Desai. Of course, I got her into the peep right before so that your curiosity goes up. She is a specialist with the animals. She is, let's take you there. She is an animal communicator, a holistic animal healer, a sound healer for pet, and a Bach flower trainer. And believe me, her own story started with her pet passing away. And she's not just doing this for MONEY, which is a good thing to do. She does this work because she has a heart and a real heart of gold. So I go back here. I need to make few announcements. New updates. We have 30-minute classes for quick learning, which are covering fitness, wellness, chai pe charcha. Classes will be running from 7:30 a.m. in the morning, 5:30, 6:30 p.m. in the evening, and 10:30 p.m. at night. So you can be with us from morning to night. And you can join these classes for health benefits and learning. These are like short 30-minute classes. Of course, we have 1-hour classes which are running throughout and even at night. Okay, we have a special event. Please join us for the special event today, which is 23rd of March at 4 p.m. to discover the best options for improving and maintaining your mobility and stability in exclusive get set up special class with South African physiotherapist Chris Pedro. To book your slot, please click on the link shared in the chat, which Agam would have already put over there. So let's go straight. Today's objective is to get animal health into your space, because many of us have animals, but we treat them like human beings, not like animals. And there is, our probably knowledge is not as much. So I'm getting you a specialist who specializes in this. So we're going to be looking at introduction of Bach flowers, history of Bach flowers. How do Bach flowers really help in remedy work? The remedies and side effects of Bach flowers, Indian remedies versus original UK remedies, and how we can help our animals with Bach flowers, which is really important, and scope of application of these remedies. Is there anything else that you would like to learn today? If that's so, please put it down in the chat so that we can look at the chat and help you out. Okay, so time for me to stop talking. I'm going to get Aarti right here and let's get her. So Aarti, thank you so much for being here. Very, very great. Could you please tell people what Bach flower is all about? What's the history? Thank you so much.
Thank you, Anu, and thank you everyone who's there. So Bach flowers has really changed my life, and I thank the flowers. They are gifts to us from nature, if you really go to see. Now we first need to understand who is Dr. Bach. He was a doctor who was doing a lot of research on creating vaccines. And so he had a medical backing where he was, researching on vaccines and getting new vaccines and everything. And it so happened that he was continuing doing this work. He was from London. He was continuing doing this work, and he collapsed one day in his, while taking care of some patients. There were some soldiers at that time. I'm talking about the year of 1917 and everything, where, the France soldiers and everything, they used to take care of these soldiers, also being a doctor in the hospital that he was working in. And he did collapse one day, and all of a sudden he had a severe issue with his stomach, where he got operated by his colleagues, and he was only given 3 months to live. And from that time onwards, he continued. He lived more than 3 months, obviously. He decided that he will not let this disease be a reason for him not to do his work. He continued doing his work. And then he went and joined a homeopathic hospital in London, and where he started continued researching on his vaccines. And then he started also researching on personalities, because we know homeopathic is a stream of studies where they really study the psyche of the people, the personality of the people. And that's where his research started, where he started researching on flowers and the 7 personality types. And under the 7 personality types, he found a lot of flowers which could, help in correcting the negative influence of that emotion. We will be discussing further on each emotion and what are the emotions that he researched on. He continued doing.
1 minute, I'm stopping you here. So Bach flower wasn't really for animals in the beginning, was it?
No, it was not for animals as such. He was researching it on his, he was working with humans. I really don't know whether he was working that time with animals or not, but definitely because he was a doctor in the hospital, and he started his own practice later, where he was practicing it on his humans, and he was doing a lot of research. Wow. So he was basically a researcher, if you really go to see, because that's how he was even making vaccines. He was researching on vaccines.
So Aarti, when you say that there are like 7 personalities is what he found out. And when we do give to our animals these remedies, which we'll know a little bit more about, the personalities that we'll be talking in a little while. Is it that we're saying that the pets also have a personality?
Yes. As I've already spoken before in many of the talks, we all are individuals. Animals are individuals. We cannot block that this and all the dog is going to behave in a certain way. According to the environment, our behavior changes. According to the emotion that gets triggered, we all are coming from the animal kingdom. We all have the brain stem. We all have all the brain layers, if you really go to see. So what emotions we feel, they are also going to be feeling that emotion.
Yes, absolutely. And when she talks about brainstem, we are talking about the reptilian brain, which is about the basic function of fighting and flighting. They will withdraw or they will fight. Now, Aarti, also when we are looking at personality of the animals and we are looking at bug flower, are we looking at the personality and giving them, or are we saying that they're out of personality at that time? They're out of their behavior at that time, and that is what is helping us to identify that something is wrong with them.
So it's not as simple as understanding. See, we are all complex beings. We are going to have all the 7 personalities within us.
Okay.
At some point of the life, we will have all these personalities. When we break down and when I'll be discussing about the 7 personalities, then you will know exactly that we all will fall according to circumstances in a life. We will fall into these different personalities. So there are about 38 flowers which he researched on. We all will be having these 38 flowers across our lifetime. We won't be sticking to one because we are not constant people. We are very variable according to the situations and according to people that we interact with. So we keep changing our personality. The core personality to certain limit can be the same, but again, that can trigger different emotions.
Wow, that's huge. Okay, continue further, and then we will, guys, can you start putting down your questions in the chat box? So if you have any questions, and I acknowledge Anjana who says, my pets are my life and they make my life beautiful. And she's also acknowledging Aarti and saying it's good to have her back. Yes, it's always good to have Aarti back. So if you have a question, just put it down in the chat box and we will make sure that you get your question gets answered. Yes, Aarti, please continue. Thank you.
Yeah, so as I said, Dr. Bach started his own studies and everything. He started his own practice where he kept on researching on the flowers, and finally he reached to 38 flowers, which could correct a negative emotion that's getting produced. So those 38 flowers, then he came up with his book, Heal Thyself, which is by Dr. Bach. And he
name once more so that everybody gets
Heal
it.
Thyself.
Heal Thyself by Dr. Bach. And Agam, if you can put the name down in the chat box. Thank you.
So after he published his book, he was doing a lot of lectures, trying to put the word across about Bach flowers, how it works and everything to people. And in the same year, I think it was in 1928 or something, where he started the whole thing of Bach flowers. In 1936, he completed it, his research. He came up with his book in 1936, and in the same year, he passed away at a young age of 50. And obviously he left back a lot of wealth for us, which is the knowledge of Bach flowers. And he simply said a statement that it's basically when there is a disharmony between the mind and the soul is where there the distance is created. That's where the negative emotion starts coming in. And Bach flowers just reestablish the pathways where the soul and the mind comes as one.
Wow, that's so beautiful. I mean, imagine your mind and your soul has to be connected. We're not even talking about human mind. We're talking about your mind and soul being connected. And when there is a gap, the bridge is kind of filled in with the Bach flowers. That's so beautiful. Yes, Aarti.
Does the same thing happen to animals? The link between the mind and the soul, does that get disrupted for them?
Yes, because they also have a soul.
Yeah, but their mind and the soul, does it get disrupted? You said there's a
yes, because of the emotions.
Okay, thank you.
So Bach flower, if you really go to see, it is rectifying the emotion. We have to understand an emotion when it gets produced, it triggers a behavior. So when there is a behavior that I am or a person or an animal is expressing it out, means we know there is an emotional imbalance behind that. As simple as that, we see aggression. Aggression is really labeled as aggression, that the animal is behaving aggressive. But we are not seeing what is the emotion behind it. If we start looking what is the emotion behind the aggressiveness, we are able to rectify the aggressiveness. Many times pet owners, what they do is they ignore the aggression to a very level where it really starts biting. actually, if you really go to so Anjana, that your question was, the soul is so disturbed, is so not in alignment, that his behavior is completely an aggressive behavior, which he's actually crying for help.
Wow, isn't that the same for human beings?
Yeah.
Ma'am, isn't it the mind that is, disrupted? The soul is peaceful, isn't it? The mind is what gets disrupted.
The mind gets disrupted. Why? Because the soul has a purpose. The soul purpose is always harmonized. But if your soul purpose and your mind does not go in sync with each other, there will be confusion. There will be emotions that will be produced.
And can you just tell me about emotions and feelings? How they differ?
The emotion will trigger the feeling. You have a feeling which arises, and then the emotion gets produced.
So it starts with feelings.
It will initially start with feelings. It will always overlap with each other.
Okay. Oh, thank you.
And it can be very subtle. We will be doing, I will discuss certain case studies and everything. I think it will get clearer to you at that point of time.
Yes, there's another question Shiraz has put up. She's asked, is homeopathy and Bach flower interchangeable? Is it possible to interchange the two?
Bach flowers works to certain concepts of homeopathy, but they are both different ways of working. Here we are only working with flower essences, energy of flowers. Whereas homeopathy works with very different kind of antidotes they have. Their way of creating antidotes are very, so there are certain antidotes which are produced from snakes, from the venom of snakes. So in homeopathy, it's completely different, but the concept of working is the same, where we take the person as a whole. What Dr. Bach was also seeing when he was practicing his medical, that they're only looking at the physical symptom. We were not taking the human or the animal as the whole. What Bach flower therapy does is it takes the person, be it a human or an animal, or even a plant for that matter, as a whole being who is going to have emotions, who's going to, and we know every emotion is connected to every physical issue is connected to an emotion.
Okay, so I'm going to ask people to have your pen and pencils ready, because right now I think Aarti is going to be talking about emotion that you think your dog is feeling, and or you yourself are feeling, because it's not just a remedy for animal, it's also the remedy for the pet parent. I know when Aarti gives medication for my beautiful Luna, she also gives something for me, because we both need to be in harmony with each other to kind of connect with each other. So I hope your paper and pencils are ready, and let's shoot up from here.
So what happens is our animals mirror us. So many a time you will see the human and the animal having similar emotions going on. So it's not all about, because we know environment impacts everything. So if my environment has something like a death, for example, someone has crossed over, there's been a death in the family, so there is a loss. So the human, if he is going to experience a loss, the animal is also experiencing a loss. Maybe the animal might not express his loss the way a human is expressing by sitting and crying and behaving, but animal will show it in their own subtle ways. They might not eat, they might not interact, or an animal might choose to be like a monkey, going to their owner, licking them, taking attention, because they know the house is in the energy of the house is low and he wants to bring it up. But that does not mean he is not going through an emotional change. He's taken up the responsibility to lighten up the air in the environment, but he is going through equal emotions as far as much as a human is going through, or maybe at sometimes even more, because they will not express it to you. They will keep it inside themselves. So let me give you an example here. When my dad passed away, we were very young. I had a dog at that point of time, and she kept on sitting with us, taking care of us and everything. It's after a couple of days we came to know that she had high fever. And when we took her to the vet, we only knew that she was going through her own sadness, because she also had lost from a family member. So we were told that, take her, change the environment for her, just take her for a small holiday. How we usually do it for even humans. So animals equally feels the emotions over there.
Wow. So, Arti, if you can give us a little bit around skin issues, itching, hair fall, and what can boost immunity for dogs. That's what Anjana is asking for. And if you can give us a little bit of, if a person, if the dog has this issue, maybe then this can be used. Thank you.
So let me first speak about the 7 groups that he said, because then that will kind of, build the base for your, to give clarity on the Bach flowers.
Wonderful.
So the 7 groups was, one was fear. Under fear, we have few remedies. So there are 38 remedies in total. Then we have loneliness. Then we have uncertainty. Then we have lack of interest in the present circumstances. Then we have despair. Then we have oversensitivity and overcare for others. Now we have to understand under each category there are certain remedies. Now fear we know is the most predominant survival technique. Like our brainstem is all about fear. It's all about survival. Now under fear we have few remedies. Now when we see an animal who's fearful, we have to then according to what kind of fear. Now fear can be very different. One will be a fear which I will show while express out. For example, fear of exams, or fear of snakes, or fear of dogs. So when a person is telling me I'm fearful of certain thing, I know there is a certain remedy. Now, specifically when we're working with animals, we know fear is there. When you see them in crackers are bursting. Now, how a mix is usually made, we do not just take a fear remedy, one fear remedy and pick up. Because fear can trigger many more emotions. There is an overlapping of emotions. If you see a stray dog on the streets, he is fearful, he's running here and there. So he has a state of confusion. He doesn't know whether he should go right, left, he's just running. There's extreme fear. In fear also, there can be an extreme fear. There can be fear where, I'm just fearful, but I'm not maybe showing it out. Or there might be fear which is for unknown reasons. Like when we say fear of going to a place, like I need to go to a place, maybe that place has, it's an isolated place. Or sometimes we're fearful, but we don't know what we are fearful of. The remedy changes over here. So now when we're talking about health issues, like how Anjana is saying, the immunity and everything, whenever we have to understand, first predominant thing that we always need to work is on fear. And the second most important emotion to work is on anger. We have all of us, be it animals or be it humans, we have a lot of suppressed anger. We want to please people. There are remedies for please, where we are people pleasers also. So we take the person as a whole. We take what the person, the human or an animal is going through at that point of time. Because my first thing that I want to rectify is what the person or the animal is going through now. Then I will look at what the animal is as a personality. And that's where my animal communication comes up, where I communicate with the animal, connect to his energy and find out. And certain information what I get from the pet parent. Sometimes the animals might show a certain behavior, but deep down he's scared. Or deep down he's lacking confidence. So there is an overlapping of emotions that come up. It's just not one emotion. There will be a predominant emotion like fear, but along with fear, there'll be a lot of things that will be happening with the animal. So we take the animal as a whole and then create a mixture. Now, when we create a mixture, what Dr. Bach said, we have to take a maximum mixture of 7 remedies. We cannot go beyond 7 remedies. Ideally, if we stick to 4 and 5, which is the best, but we stick maximum to 7 remedies. We do not go beyond 7 remedies. Now, along with these 7 groups that he created, he also created something called the rescue remedy. Most of the people know about the rescue remedy. The rescue remedy is nothing else but a mixture of the 5 flowers from this. It's an SOS. Whenever there is something which creates a shock, when there is an accident, for example, or if there is a child who's fallen down, his body goes under a shock. There is fear. there is dizziness, or he might not be present in his present body at that point of time. There might be fear where he might lose control if he faints or something like that, and there is some kind of trauma that's there. These these this happens in an SOS situation, and that's where he created the rescue remedy for it. So I suggest a rescue remedy for every house. I will be giving you few remedies name which should be in every house.
So guys, please write down in your books about the rescue remedy, which should be there in everyone's house, whether you have a pet or you don't have a pet. Thank you. Continue, Ram.
So now when we are working on fear, which I already explained, what are the other emotions? Now when we talk about loneliness, we feel loneliness is a very human emotion, but animals also go through loneliness. Now under loneliness, we have childhood trauma emotions. A childhood trauma could create a loneliness. Animals we know go through a lot of childhood trauma. There is a separation from the mother. They get separated from their they get separated from their families, because there's so many abandonment cases also where the animals are abandoned, or they are in rescue centers. So again, the state of mind of loneliness, if it is there, we need to really look at loneliness. What is the state of mind? We might not be able to catch loneliness very easily in animals because the animals like to distract themselves. But if an animal is having a bad childhood, traumatic childhood, there will be a kind of loneliness. Now, let me speak about one specific remedy in loneliness when we're talking about inner child, which is called a heather. Now, heather is for...
Can you spell it out, Aarti?
Heather.
Okay. Agam, can you put that down in the chat, please? Thank you.
So, heather is for childhood trauma. Now, a person under the personality of a heather will be a very talkative person who would like to talk about himself a lot. So if anyone, like, you have those agony aunties, you call them up and they'll go on talking about themselves. Instead of really looking at them, that they're just, going on talking, and they will not let you speak. They will cut your talk and they will say, this is happening to me, that is happening to me. It is coming from a space of loneliness. And heather is one of the best remedies for all the healers, because it takes you. So if you do, heather makes you listen to people. So what happens, a person who's not a good listener will, if it takes heather, so animals are very talkative. If he's gone through a lot of emotional childhood trauma, but animals are very talkative, we might think that they are a heather, not always. But talkative animals, because there is one expression of talkativeness when there are too much of fire element also. So we have to actually, it becomes a lot of deeper work to understand if this is a heather or it's not. Now, the beauty of Bach flowers is there. If you select a wrong Bach flower and you give it to a person thinking, for example, a dog comes to me and I'm thinking, okay, maybe he's heather. And I give him heather, and there is no side effect that's going to happen to him. The only side effect will happen, the behavior will not get changed. So if the behavior has not got changed, I know the remedy was not correct. That's the beauty of Bach flowers. There is no side effects and there is no overdose.
Wow, isn't that amazing, guys? I mean, I've often sat down and said flowers are, whether they are dead, whether they are alive, they're always useful. Unlike us, when we are alive, we stink. And when we are dead, we are so stinky that we don't keep ourselves or our loved ones inside the house, other than Egyptians who made them into mummies. But reality is that flowers give you fragrance and life even after their death. And it's so amazing how Aarti is talking about loneliness and how the childhood trauma can create so much. Shiraz says, how can animals be talkative? She wants to understand that. And Anjana says, can you please request contact number of online homeopaths from Earth? You know what I will do? I will interview a homeopath. Would that be good for you guys? I get a homeopath here right on this platform. Yes, Aarti, continue.
Okay, how can an animal be talkative? That's a very interesting question, because animals talk, It's not about only that animal communication that I'm saying. Animals who keep on be very reactive, they will keep on like if you enter a house and you will see an animal going on barking, 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 barking. Now again, as I said, it will be an overlap of emotions. He will not, that animal does not let anyone else speak. And then we know that this animal is, and he's not aggressive. It's not aggressive. It is two things that's overlapping. What is attention seeking, and one is Heather. And a Heather is also a bit attention seeking in a way. Why? Because he's feeling lonely. He wants people to come and talk to him. He wants to express himself. Why is this very good remedy for children? Why is it called a inner child remedy also? Because we do not listen to children. We do not let them speak. We tell them to shut up. We tell our dogs to shut up. They are not able to express themselves completely. There is a lot of, when we get an animal into a space, the animal is dependent on us to a very huge way. Because I will decide as a pet parent when the animal eats, when the animal poops, when he goes for a walk, when he does this, when he does that. So there's a lot of control factor which is there. We are not letting them be the way they are. So in that case, we have to understand. So it gets more deeper and deeper. Bach flowers is not something which, this is what I have believed, because I have studied Bach flowers for almost, I don't know with how many teachers. The only reason for that, because it can go very deeper, because each flower also has a soul purpose also that goes more deeper into the flowers. One is the behavioral. Right now, we're only looking at the behavior, the emotion that it's getting correcting, but there are also soul flowers which we work on from these Bach flowers. So it can get more deeper. It really enhances the personality of the person. So sometimes you might not have an issue like, you might not have an issue so much like, but you want to enhance your personality. That's where also Bach flowers can come. For example, I'm going to give an interview. At that point of time, I need more of push to be energetic. I need more push of being confident. Being a confident person also, you do get a little bit fearful. And that's where different remedies come. One of the best Bach flower remedies for children, for confidence, and even for us is larch. It's literally called the LARCH.
LARCH. Thank you.
Now, larch is a remedy which should be given to children from a young age. Even for animals from a young age, where we see we're building confidence within them. Because, see, they separate out from the parents. Certain animals have a built-in confidence within them. Because, again, what have they experienced in the environment? If they have experienced love, affection, caring, they will become confident beings. It's no different from animals, and animals are no different from small children. When we get them into a space, we want them to become loving, confident, grow up to be a confident animal. We are seeing so many cases of stray animals who are very timid. There is fear, there is lack of confidence, and there is trauma. So we will have to work on trauma. We need to initially work on, first layer is to work on the trauma. Second layer, we'll work on the fear. And then I will build up the confidence. First, I'll empty the cup, and then I'll fill in what I need to fill.
Wow. That's such a nice thing to say. First, I will empty the cup before filling it up. And that's so important, because if you have, and I also want to acknowledge over here Beena Bhandarkar, who's talking about her cat who is really talkative, and she can understand when you're saying what talkative means. She's saying that my cat has become very talkative recently, and she's acknowledging that the reason may be that she's probably what you just said, maybe needing more attention. And so she wants, let's have Bach flower remedy session with Aarti for human beings as a separate session. Okay, we could try doing that. And Beena Bhandarkar is also talking about her cat being deaf. And she's just putting that in the chat. We will just halt here for a minute, Aarti, so that we can ask people if they have any questions. It's already 1:36, so it's time at least we ask a few questions that you guys have, and then go further from here. So you've already picked up remedy for a rescue remedy, a Heather remedy, and you have the larch remedy. So any questions so far?
Yeah. Yes, ma'am. I want to know something.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm Shiraz. I want to know that, like, my dog now, he is around 10 years old, and he's become very quiet. Means whole day he's just sleeping most of the time. Khali khane ka time aayega, so he gets up, and walk ka time aayega, so he gets up. But when there's a like tempo or a truck, so he starts barking, or if somebody is coming up the staircase, so he starts barking. So at that time, after one or two barks, like generally people in our family, like my husband and all, they like tell him get bus enough and scold him to shut up. So he be quiet. So is that okay? I mean, he then stops barking after two or three barks. So is it okay to tell him to stop barking because it gets disturbing for everybody in the family, or should we allow him to bark?
Thank you so much for that amazing question. Yes, Aarti, over to you.
You understand he's 10 years old, so he's growing old, so he will be most of the time, as they age, they become calmer. See, their energy really becomes very grounded and settled. But understand there is a stimuli outside. It's a natural dog tendency. It's a dog behavior. He bar awas aayega, he will go, he will react. If the reaction is not too much, where he's sitting and barking for 1 hour or so, or half an hour continuously barking, then it's okay for him to do his 2 or 3 barks. Because that's his way of saying, oh, there's noise. He's communicating. Okay. And he's also actually communicating with y'all. Oh, there is a noise outside. I'm going and looking what it is. So he's going and giving a counter noise to oh, that noise, and he's communicating. That's a dog way of communicating, of barking. So if the barking is normal, it's completely fine. If it is over barking, then it's something to worry, because the more pressure they put in over barking, they're doing excessive barking. Like, I remember my dog used to, empty, no one is on the street, but she'll keep on barking. So she is a Heather personality, wherein she likes to be very talkative and everything. We will be getting into other remedies. There can be remedies which can be a clashing over here, in the sense you might think it's a Heather, it might not be a Heather. So it gets really deeper and deeper when we study 38 flowers actually. So when an animal is continuously barking, understand there is chemical reactions happening in the body. The body is going through a stress. Cortisol will get reduced. So if that's an excessive barking, then we know we are producing chemical reactions in the body. At that point of time, I will give a rescue remedy, because I need to calm down the body, because I don't want the cortisol levels, because it's for the stress is getting produced in the body. This is for excessive barking.
Thank you so much for that answer.
Yeah, the thing is actually that we get disturbed. I have noticed that because I have an old father-in-law in the house. So they get very disturbed when he's barking for 2 or 3 times continuously. So then they ask him, like, my husband tells him that, okay, now stop barking and stop barking. So thoda scold karenge to chupchap ho jata hai.
Yeah, so what you can do is actually go to the balcony where he's barking, look at and say, oh, okay, I saw it. I understand what you said. I saw it. Come in. Rather than doing that, because he is actually communicating, there is this noise. And there are many times the animals are actually trying to show us, they're communicating with us that, Mama, there is a noise there. I'm going and, looking after it. So what we do, it's a communication that the animal is doing. And then you just go then and say, okay, I acknowledge this. Come in now.
Okay.
Thank you so much. That was such an amazing answer. Thank you so much. There is Anjana and there is Jayashri waiting. So I'm going to get Anjana in. Anjana, your question.
Okay. My question is, where can we get Bach flower remedies from? Then the dosage, and then what are the 5 rescue remedies that you said? You have just said 2. And then how do you give them? Like homeo, we add it to the tablets, blank pills, and you give. But I've never had them, so I don't know. So how do we give that? And then I have got 4 pets, 4 dogs, of which only one is a male who came to say hello to me twice. He howls. I don't know why. And once he starts, the others start howling. Just about half an hour back, there was an ambulance which was howling, and he was howling with the ambulance. And that sets others off. So why does he do that? He's very sensitive to that. And do you have any Bach flower remedies for acidity and for improving eyesight?
Okay, let's take the first question because I'm sure it's lost. The first question is
on rescue remedy.
Yeah.
Yeah, the 5 are one is, see, you get a mix of rescue remedy. If you go to the shop, you just ask them rescue remedy.
Can we get it from?
So you will get it from any of the homeopathic shop.
Okay, right.
But what you will get is the Indian remedy. When I'll be speaking, what is the Indian vs the UK remedies,
okay.
I will tell you what's the difference. But you can go to any homeopathic shop and you can just tell them you want rescue remedy. You can always take it in a liquid form. They will give you in a liquid form, or you can also take it in those homeopathic pills. But I always prefer the liquid form. So you can just go to them. They are a mix of 5 flowers, but you get it. Rescue remedy is something which Dr. Bach said will work on as one mix, which is then rescue remedy is taken as one flower itself, although it's a mix of 5 flowers. So it's one of the remedies from Dr. Bach.
So how much should it take is the next question that Anjana asked.
Now, again, it depends. If you're using the UK in the Indian one, you create a mixture usually. So what I will do is I'll take water, take drinking water. Usually in Dr. Bach, they say spring water and everything because over there spring water. So you just take your regular filtered water from AquaGuard, put about 4, if you're taking the Indian remedy, 4 drops. This is a 30 ml bottle, 30 ml glass bottle. Always take glass bottles for remedies. India, they give you in plastic bottles. So please shift it to a glass bottle if possible.
Agam, could you put that answer down in the chat so nobody misses it?
And that's your rescue remedy ready. You can now now this is a mix that you have created of rescue remedy. And then from this mix, you can give about 4 to 5 drops to your pets, or put it in the food, or put it in their water. Or even you can put it on their paw because they lick their paw.
Okay.
When we work on skin issues, I will be adding more Bach flowers. So you can prepare a rescue remedy, but I will tell you with a rescue remedy what I prefer certain remedies to be mixed, because I feel rescue remedy as an SOS is good, but there are other things that also happen when in an SOS situation. And adding those extra remedies can be more beneficial for the animal. So let me just put it across now only when this whole thing has come up. So the other remedy that you can mix in your rescue remedy mixture is gentian. Gentians are basically for setbacks.
Can you spell that out?
Gentin.
And Agam, if you can kindly put that down in the chat. Thank you.
Yes, I'm typing.
Gentian is for any kind of setback. So it's very good for children to, before exams, give them a rescue and gentian mixture. So when you're creating your mixed bottle, you're taking 4, if you've taken 4 drops of rescue, you will take 2 drops of gentian only. And now this is your mix created even for animals. Animals goes through setbacks so many times. Every day we are going through setbacks. For example, a person goes in for an interview, he doesn't pass the interview. A child thinking he's going to get 70% but lands up getting only 50%. He is going to have setback. So before the setback hits me and I feel, okay, I'm not worth it, I'm not good enough, before those feelings come up, I'm already taking care of it by giving gentian. So it actually removes a certain kind of shock from the body, which the body might go through a shock. For an animal who falls down, his body goes through a shock. Gentian is for setback. For example, if an animal is walking and he falls down, he gets hurt, and maybe he's walking that road, a specific road. I remember my first dog, Honey, we had gone for a walk, and a coconut fell down just before her. So she got so fearful to even walk that road. It's a setback. I don't want to walk this road. It's scary. So it's not only fear over here. It's also a setback over here.
Thank you so much.
For bruises, you can just put rescue remedy on the bruise.
You mean you can actually put the drop straight on the bruise?
Bruise, yes.
Which one, ma'am? You said there are 5 rescue remedies.
No. Rescue remedy is one. They're made of 5 flowers.
Right.
Okay. Let's get in Jayashree Ghosh. She has a question and I'm looking at the watch. Sorry. Jayashree, we're bringing you back again.
Sorry, ma'am.
Please, Agam, get her back. We're both working on overtime. Okay. Okay. Yes, Jayashri, please go ahead.
Yeah, what is it? Actually, I have a 16-year-old Labrador at home, and he's because of age, he's all the time lying down, and his legs also don't really work. Like we lift him up and take him to the balcony to do his jobs. And is there anything that I can give? We are giving him joint and obesity as food. So can we give him any of these drops which will help him, like increase his vigor or strength, though he's old?
See, first of all, when such a case is there, first we need to look is to eradicate the pain. Because of the pain, the animal will not want to get up and walk. And then I will take care of the flexibility and everything. Understand over here the psyche when an animal is going through a hip problem or a leg problem where there is a problem of inflexibility. When there is an inflexibility in the physical body, there is an inflexibility in your thought process. I will definitely look at the environment also, where is the inflexibility coming from. So obviously I will first look at the pain factor and then I will work on the inflexibility. So for pain, you can give them impotence, you can give them willow.
Can you please put that down, Agam? Willow.
Willow and impotence.
If there was pain, wouldn't he cry?
Sorry?
If there was pain, wouldn't he whine or cry? That doesn't happen.
Animals are very good in hiding their pain. They are not like humans. We'll get little hurt, we'll sit with it, we will put ice, we'll get burnt, we'll put ice, we'll sit for, I'll say, oh my God, my finger is like this. Animal, imagine after surgery, when they go through a neutering surgery also, immediately once they're weaning off the anesthesia, they're trying to get up and walk. We humans will say we need rest for 1 week. That's animals and humans.
Arti, if you can spell out the last two medications, Bach so that Agam can put down the names. Thank you.
Willow, WILLOW. Now, willow is a very beautiful remedy. When I want to speak about willow, willow is very good for people who think they are victims. It's for victimhood. But the beauty, why willow? So if you really read about willow, you will think it's not for pain. But from the willow bark, aspirin is made. So willow will work for pain. The other is impotence, IMPATIENS. As the name says, it's very good for people who are impatient. When you are in pain, you will be impatient. You will not be able to sit in one place. Impotence personality as a person will not be able to sit in one place. You've seen people, if their maids don't come and they'll keep running from one end to the other end of the room. They're impotence type. They'll keep calling every few seconds. When you have BP issue also, impotence helps, high BP.
Okay, that's it. So we have Velo and there was one more. Yes.
Impotence.
Yes. So great stuff. Yes, let's bring Jayashri back again. She has another question.
No, it's the same thing. This impatience, she said, willow, she said we can use for pain, but it is normally for?
People who are victimhood.
Okay, thank you.
Who keep complaining, why this with my life?
Okay.
Why me? This is not going good, that is not going good, this is not going. So when we are looking at animals also, and we are seeing animals who are very grumpy and they feel, even when animals have behavioral issue. See, understand, sometimes, most of the times the animal is reflecting this from the human. So I have to correct that from the animal's energy as well as from the human's energy. Animals as such, we feel, are not the ones who are into victimhood. But if the human is going through a victimhood, the animal will mirror it.
And how many drops do we give these?
Two of each. Again, you create a mixture, 30 ml of water, 2 drops of willow, and 2 drops of impotence. There are other remedies that can be added here. You can add a rescue also, 4 drops of rescue over here. And a gentian, 2 drops of gentian. Because again, when the animal is trying to get up, once his pain becomes a little better, he'll try to get up. When he tries to get up, he will fall down, then he should not have a setback. Because if he has a setback, then again his confidence will break, he will not even try.
So 30 ml water, 4 drops rescue, 2 drops below, 2 drops impatience, and 2 drops.
Gentian.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for that question. And just to remind everybody, we are on the last question because we are already at 1:52. So we have 3 minutes or 4 minutes more with Aarti. People are asking.
How long can we store this medicine that we have made? And how do we store it?
You just store it in the glass bottle, and you have to keep giving your dog every day. So the bottle actually. So till the behavior is not, see, rescue remedy and gentian, what I'm saying is please keep giving them. There's no side effect because the body chemistry is going to change. So because we are animals or humans, they are going through stressful events. And then obviously when there is a physical symptom, I will change. This is like an SOS bottle you should have at home.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Okay, and Sharaz is asking, is it, do we need a doctor for Bach flower, or we can just give it like this?
You can give it like this, but for proper, what I have explained you, like what mixture, what I have given, like a rescue and a gentian, you can just give it. But if there is a specific physical behavior, the physical symptom, or a specific emotional behavior that's happening, then you have to get in touch with a Bach flower therapist who can create a special mixture for your pet.
And believe me, when I need one, I ask Aarti, please help. And she just makes one and sends it across. So just to let you know, yeah, I use her brain. I pick her brain for that. So that can be always done when you feel your brain is getting fried and you can't get this much of buddhi and gyan. It's okay. Ask for help. Okay, Jayashree is saying plus 4 drops of rescue. Yes. And is it okay to make the dog wear a cone?
A cone. Okay, when they've gone through a surgery.
No, ma'am, because he scratches a lot, like with his mouth and all, he literally bites himself. So it's a round cone aata hai, around the neck we make him.
I know, but if you put for him always like this, you imagine what you're doing with his neck, inflexibility aayega. He will not be able to move this. Imagine this will become tight, he'll get pain. Once this becomes tight, it'll go and follow down the hip. You're already creating hip dysplasia ka story for.
But we avoid that for as much as possible. But then kaise hi nikalte, he starts scratching.
So then you need to look if he is a header, because if he is itching, there could be loneliness. Okay. There could be an issue with the food.
Yeah.
Okay, which I think we've already spoken about the food with him. So you need to eliminate certain food and see. The other thing for skin, which is very good, is crab apple. It's CRAB.
Okay.
APPLE. You can do a rescue remedy and crab apple mix. You get a rescue cream at the UK center. So if you have someone coming from UK, or you also have a place in Delhi where you get the rescue cream, it's come from the original Bach Flower Institute. I will share that with Anu and she can, put it across the link to that place.
And yeah.
So they have a rescue cream, which is basically rescue remedy and crab apple mix, which is very good for the skin. The other way, what you can do is create a mixture, again, 30 ml water, crab apple. You can put over there about 3 to 4 drops of crab apple, and you put 6 drops of rescue remedy.
Could you just put down those names again, Agam? Thank you so much. And we are already at 1:55, and I can see Beena ji putting her hand up. So Beena ji, yes, ask your question, please.
I wanted to ask regarding the skin infection itself. The same crab apple we have to apply?
It can see, this is the general what I'm telling you. Crab apple is good for skin. Okay. But again, you will have to get in touch with a Bach flower therapist to understand, is this skin issue because of loneliness? Is it because of the skin issue? Now, crab apple as a remedy is for self-cleansing. It's for self-cleansing when the self-image is what is getting affected. And it's very good for infection. So if there is an infection in the body, Then crabapple will take care. So there is an infectious skin thing. Then it will be crabapple. But
Okay.
also self-image for cats who keep on itching themselves, over grooming.
No,
Crabapple.
he's not itching. I mean, he doesn't have itching as such. But recently he developed a few patches over there on his body.
You can try
And-
crabapple and see.
Yeah. Okay.
That should help him with this if he has itching. Because
Okay.
again, it's an
Thank you,
infection.
Aarti. Thank you very much, Aarti.
Welcome.
I can hear relief in Beena's voice actually. Thank you very much. Had a complete relief. We are at last 3 minutes. So Aarti, is there something that you would like to tell people before we conclude the show? And I think it feels little incomplete. Guys, what do you say? It feels a little incomplete and we should be talking about the rescue a little bit more. That's how it feels, that it's just kind of, we've stunted it halfway through. But that's the time, guys. And it's, Gandhi ji used to say, "Thodi si bhook achhi hoti hai." It's nice to have a little bit of a hunger left behind. Okay, so Aarti, a message for everyone. Thank you.
So as I said, I will tell you what remedies should be there in everyone's house. As I said, rescue remedy. Then the other remedy is walnut remedy. It's not the walnut dry fruit, but it's the walnut flower remedy. A crab apple and a gentian. Obviously, there are many more remedies. Those who can get the whole kit, nothing like it. And I'll just give you the difference between the UK and the Indian remedy. The Indian remedies, the plants are from India. The alcohol content in India remedies are very high. So many times the animals reject it because of the alcohol content. The UK remedies is what I use. I have used the Indian remedies initially when I started my journey, but I am now completely into only the UK remedies. The UK remedies are much more better. So if you have anyone coming in from the UK or someone, you can always order you get the kit of 10 ml. 10 ml will also go on for you for a very long time. But obviously the UK remedies are always the best.
Okay, brilliant. And I'm so happy that we brought this. I'm also happy that this program is slowly catching up with you all. If you really like what we are bringing, please give your feedbacks and put it on the Facebook, because that's the only way that we can keep continuing this program for a longer time. And I would be really, really thankful, because we are trying to do something offbeat over here. And a lot of people putting in thank you. Pratima is saying thank you. Jayashri is saying thank you. Anjana is saying thank you. So thank you very, very much for your support, because without that, we cannot, both of us together, get awareness for you all. So, okay, so let's we looked at the objectives today, and in summary, we looked at the Bach flowers, we looked at the history, we looked at the remedy work, we also looked at the difference between the original and Indian and the UK remedies. We also saw that there are no side effects of the Bach flowers. And we also looked at what is the scope of the application of these remedies and how we can actually help your animal with the Bach flower. And animal means any animal that we are talking about. And right now, more from the mammal's point of view, that is the cat and the dog. We haven't come to a cow or a goat or any of the other. I'm sure researchers will tell you also a lot more on this. So I really am thanking Aarti once again for bringing this beautiful, amazing information for all of us. I am really, really thankful, because these are the kind of classes that help us to shift our perception around places that we have no idea about. When we don't have an idea, we also react from treating people or treating animals as if, something is wrong with them. Something that really caught my attention is that animal is reflecting us. So if we want to correct something in our animal, how about correcting that in us first? Because there's obviously something that we are doing because of which the animal is asking for attention, asking and behaving on the victimhood, or is doing what he or she is doing. You can keep the conversation going, and you can punch on the explore button, and you know what, with that you can go to many other classes which might interest you. So Let's also look at, you can check your email and I will be sending you feedback form. Please fill it up. Please fill it up. It's a request so that we can look at the feedbacks and others can also look at the feedbacks for this program. Share your experience, like I already said, on the Facebook, Instagram, and hashtag Get Set Up so that everybody on the Get Set Up gets to see it at Get Set Up. Also, if you have a Get Set Up story going for yourself, please do connect with social@getsetup.io. We love to hear your story because when you win and you move ahead, we move ahead. We are in this together, right? And so you move ahead and we move ahead. We all grow together. And that's, I think, in very few places where you grow together organically. So you can also host an interest group if you are someone who is extremely talented, and sometimes we don't think they're talented. So if others are telling you, participate, then don't think so much, participate. And you know what will happen? Something new will open out for you. So you can be an ambassador and you can contact us at help@getsetup.io. I hope you enjoyed today's program. I'm your host, Anu Mehta, and I have my guest, Aarti Desai, and we have Agam over here as our TA who helped you today through this journey of 1 hour. Would love to be with you back again on this Friday. Today is Wednesday. I'll be back with you Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Friday, I will be meeting you at the same time, 1 o'clock. Okay. And Saturday, I'll be meeting you at 1 o'clock and in the evening. And Sunday, of course, we do sound healing in the evening. So thank you very, very much. Bahut shukriya, bahut mehrbani. Thank you. Bye bye. Thank you, Aarti. Love you all. Kuch to keh do, Aarti, jaane se pehle.
I just want to thank everyone for being here. And again, Bach is a beautiful, beautiful way to help our animals. Means, you know, if there is a behavior issue, if there is a health issue, rectify the emotion, you know, before the emotion gets overboard with Bach flowers. It's a beautiful way. The flowers are a gift to us. So we should be thankful to the flowers, to nature.
Absolutely. तो फूलों को घर पे लेके आओ और अपने आप को फूल करना बंद करो. लाइफ बहुत जिंगलाला है and उसे जिंगलाला ही रहने दो. Bye bye.
Thank you for
Thank you,
bringing the
ma'am. Thank
flowers
you,
to
everyone.
us.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much. Interesting session.